Hello, and welcome to another edition of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm the English Guy, I'm Nick. Thank you so much for clicking on another video, really do appreciate it. In this one, we're going to be covering the 14th of June 2021 edition of AEW Dark Elevation. So with that being said, jump right into it. Opening matchup was between Wardlow and Jason Hotch, and this was Wardlow's first match back in AEW since Stadium Stampede. And of course, on that night, the Pinnacle ended up on the losing side, but they've got a week ahead of them, that's for sure. Including Wardlow, who this Friday on Dynamite will be facing Jake Hager in a cage fight. So basically, going to be very unique to see that. I'm really looking forward to that matchup. And Wardlow's got a busy week ahead of him as well. He has a match from AEW Dark. But Wardlow being Wardlow is just a monster and a beast, and a lot of other things in between. Beast, maybe not. That's neither of us. But you know what? I do like Wardlow. I think he's underrated, and he's just a crazy son of a gun. And he showed it in this matchup. The finish to this match was crazy. It was a very dominant performance from Wardlow, and both Jason Hotch away in very quick fashion. And now how he did it was something I've never seen before, but it was brutal. He had Jason Hotch with on the top rope with his legs, with his feet, sorry, tucked underneath the top turnbuckle. So basically, he was like perpendicular, but his legs had been held up by Wardlow. So basically, he had nowhere to go. So Wardlow held him up, threw him down, and did a European uppercut. And it was brutal. And that's what won the matchup. And I've never seen anything like that before in wrestling. I thought, wow, Wardlow is back to prove something, and proved it in very quick fashion, to say the least. So good to see Wardlow back in winning ways, because I do like the Pinnacle. And he did very well here. So thumbs up to that. And thumbs up to a brutal finish, which I've never seen before. So there you go. The next match was Dustin Rhodes and Lee Johnson versus VSK and Travis Titan. And I'm going to say it, this was a very good tag match, to be fair. It wasn't the longest tag match, though. But for what they had and how it worked, was great. I thought this was a very, very good tag match. More dominant side was Rhodes and Lee Johnson. But not to say, the VSK and Titan didn't do some good stuff in this match, because they did. And I really think this was a great example of how the tag team division is in AEW. Yes, it was probably always going to be given that Rhodes and Johnson would win, but they clicked so well as a tag team. But of course, not surprising, sorry, because they are both members of the United Factory. Dustin Rhodes, one of the trainers, of course, Lee Johnson, one of the students. But this was a fantastic, quick, but very well paced, and actually quite a fast paced match at times. And I liked it a great deal. This was what tag team wrestling can be in AEW. Sometimes the quicker way of doing things just works, and I really liked it. And this was honestly one of the matches of the night. I really liked how they did this one. So definite thumbs up to all four men for producing good stuff. And VSK and Titan got some good stuff in, but the night belonged to Johnson and to Dustin Rhodes. So there we go. So definite thumbs up to all four men for producing a really good match. And the next match was also a very good match. Mike Seidel versus Angelico. And basically, this was a matchup that was very different in terms of styles, because of the more free-flowing, high-impact, high-flying style of Mike Seidel versus the more ground-based wrestling. And Angelico can fly, I'll say that. But he's obviously much more suited as a submission wrestler, and he's so good at it. He's just a very, very, very good wrestler. But this matchup was a very well-paced, back-and-forth matchup. Even though Angelico won, Seidel had a very good showing here, and this is probably one of his best showings in AEW to date for me personally. I thought he was very, very good. Doing things I've never seen him do before, which is good. Innovation is always a good way forward, and Seidel showed it here. But this was a real well-paced matchup, and not as long as I'd like to see these two go out to be. So I'd love to have seen a longer match between these two. But Angelico did get the win in the Navarro Death Roll. But not to say that, there wasn't a very innovative route from both men. And Angelico did get some innovation in here as well. So definite thumbs up for a very good, different kind of match from both men, usually from both men I've never seen before. So thumbs up. Apologies for getting it wrong there a little bit. I tongue-tied myself. Yeah. Our next match was Shawn Spears versus Falco, and yet another returning Pinnacle member to AEW competition, Shawn Spears, who again had not been seen in the ring since the Stadium Stampede match with the Inner Circle. And you know what? I've said it before and I was saying it, Sean Spears is incredibly underrated. I think the way his character works, his brilliant mind for the business, because he does have a fantastic mind for the business. If you've ever heard him talk about the business, he has got so much knowledge. And he's just one of the smoothest wrestlers as well in AEW for sure. And it was a short match against Falco, who's been in AEW before, who I like. And it was good to see Spears win with the C4, of course, the running, spinning Death Valley driver. And obviously, a win that hopefully gets some momentum back on his side. I'm sure it will. But I really like Sean Spears being back in action because I think he's incredibly underrated. I think he's got so much potential to go further and further. Hopefully he does. So, thumbs up. There you go. So, the next match was Private Party versus Dean Alexander and Carly Bravo. And of course, the attitude change, shall we say, from Private Party these days has been so good. They refuse to wrestle when wrestling again. They're wrestling in flashy clothes because they're part of Matt Hardy's organisation. But Hardy Family Organisation. That's it. I'm going to write that down. But I really like this new attitude from Private Party. It took me, I won't lie, it took me a few weeks to get used to it because they were at one point one of the best and most over tag teams in AEW. Now, still one of the best tag teams in AEW, do not get me wrong. But they were definitely one of the most over because of how good they were. But the way they've approached doing things differently, how they've adjusted to being heel, has been working. So watching them in a different light has been entertaining to say the least. And you know what? This was a short but good tag match. And they hit the gin and juice, which is still one of my favourite finishers in wrestling. I think it's incredible. And even though they did get the win, Alexander Bravo did get some decent offense in, but this was mostly Private Party. And they did pick up the win, and I think it was a win they needed after recent misfortune, shall we say. So thumbs up for that. And next match was easily the shortest match of the night. Nyla Rose versus Megan Bayne, and very rarely does Nyla Rose face someone taller than her. She did. Basically, laid her up hard on the clothesline, Nyla Rose, and hit the beast bomb. That was it. There you go. And this match was Orange Cassidy versus Cameron Cole. And, well, as I say about Orange Cassidy, it's not been said before, perhaps the most over wrestler in AEW, and should be the AEW World Champion right now, but is not, unfortunately, which I don't like to say. But having said that, this was an entertaining match. I mean, Orange Cassidy picked up all the Orange Crush, the punch, and it was a quick but fun match. Orange Cassidy win, which you always like to see, so definitely thumbs up to that. And this match was Penta El Zero Miedo and Eddie Kingston versus Eric Cannon and Kevin Blackwood. Now, this is a matchup I was looking forward to quite a bit because having seen this matchup and the guys involved, I was thinking, wow, this should be very good. And it was. It was short, but it was very good. And so happy to see Eric Cannon and Kevin Blackwood get an opportunity like this as a tag team because Eric Cannon is a guy who's been wrestling on the independent scene for nearly 25 years. I think I should tell a bit shorter than that, my apologies. And he's always been one of the very few guys who never got a chance to be in bigger companies but for the wrong reason, because he's so talented. Finally, he had a chance to show what he can do, very briefly, admittedly, and in AEW Dark Elevation, but great to see him. And he's got a history with Eddie Kingston. They trained together at one point, and of course they know each other so well. They've wrestled many times in the independent scene. So it's kind of cool to see that. And I will say, I've really enjoyed the fact his teammate Kevin Blackwood is a guy I wrestle quite highly, but their opponents, Kingston and Penta, I love too. So the short but really, really good pacing in this match was very, very worth watching. And it's great to see Kingston and Penta back on the same page as a tag team. Even though they're not really part of the same faction anymore, it's still cool to see, to be completely fair. And they won the matchup in a very convincing fashion, but not to say that Cannon and Blackwood didn't get some good shots in, because they did. But you know what? I think Penta and Kingston just work as a tag team so well, even though, of course, Penta has his brother, Ray Phoenix, Pac, of course, of the Death Triangle. But him and Kingston just click, simple as that. But this was this actually quite a good tag match. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. And even though I wish it had gone longer, it didn't. But not to say it wasn't enjoyable for what it was. So Penta and Eddie Kingston picking up the win was a fun thing to see. So there we go. And this match was Julia Hart versus Danny Jordan. And Julia Hart is a relative newcomer to AEW, I'll say that. But so far she's showing some real potential, to be honest. And I think she might be the youngest competitor in AEW, full stop, actually. I think so. Don't quite know it. But I think she's 19 years old, but I'm not too sure if she's the youngest. But that being said, it was a fun, short matchup. And there's one thing that Julia Hart has is athleticism, because she's a former two-time cheerleading champion. So, of course, the athleticism is going to be there from the start. And it was here too. And she showed it. And it's kind of using that unique situation to get the advantage of the match with the athleticism. And it's cool to see that, to be fair. And the fact it uses a standing shuriken as a finisher is impressive. And that's exactly what she did to win the matchup against Danny Jordan. And it was good to see Danny Jordan back, because I do like Danny. I think she's got potential to go further in AEW, but so should Julia Hart. And she's starting to pick up momentum. So thumbs up that. And good to see another female competitor in AEW get the chance to show what she can do. So there you go. And this match was a tag match. QT Marshall and Aaron Solo versus Dion Roosman and Joe Keys. And it was a short match, to be fair, this one. And the win from Marshall and Solo was something that was going to work very, very, so that was going to happen. So, and basically, it was a short matchup with the pedigree being hit by Aaron Solo for the win. There you go. Which brought us to the main event. And personally, my match of the night, Scorpio Sky, my apologies, versus Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order. And this is the first time I've ever seen these two in a singles match anywhere. I haven't thought about it, to be honest with you. But you know what? You've got two long-time veterans in the business, two guys that know what they're doing, and they showed it. This was a very good pace matchup. It was definitely the face versus the heel match, if that makes any sense. Basically, Alex Reynolds being the face and part of perhaps the most over faction in AEW full stop at the minute. But Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, my apologies, has been on a roll. So he's teaming with Ethan Page, and I've really enjoyed what they've been doing. And Scorpio Sky is getting more singles matches, and Ethan Page is getting more singles matches too. He didn't have one this week in Dark Elevation, which is fine. But you know what? I enjoyed this. I really did. And the way they worked the matchup was fantastic. The heel versus face mentality from start to finish was the right way to work it, because of how over and how... So actually, I will say how over they both are in terms of what they do. It makes sense. But I enjoyed this one. I really did. And I think a bit of a surprise that Sky won the match. I was half expecting Reynolds to pick up the win here, but no. The heel hook was locked in, and nobody's managed to escape from that yet, to be completely honest with it. And it's been a very effective move for Scorpio Sky, and he picked up the win with it. So, again, a very impressive showing from him and from Reynolds, and this was a good main event. So, well done from both men for sure. Definitely thumbs up. And that was the end of the episode. Fun episode this week, to be fair. I enjoyed it. So, on that note, I will end the review here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Until that time, take care.